A salt merchant named Matthias owned a donkey who carried heavy bags of salt from the coast to the mountain villages. The donkey was strong and capable, but he disliked the hard work and constantly looked for ways to make his job easier. One day, as the donkey was carrying his load up a mountain trail, he came to a stream that crossed the path. Normally, they crossed carefully to avoid getting the salt wet. However, on this day, feeling tired and resentful, the donkey deliberately stumbled and fell in the stream, soaking the salt bags completely. To his delight, he discovered that the salt dissolved in the water, making his load much lighter. He carried the lightened burden easily up the mountain trail, pleased with his clever trick. When they reached the market, Matthias discovered his salt cargo was completely lost.
What happened? Matthias asked. We've crossed that stream many times without problems.
The donkey put on an innocent expression. I'm so sorry, master. I lost my footing on the slippery rocks. It was an accident.
Matthias believed accidents could happen and gave his donkey the benefit of the doubt. We'll be more careful next time, he said. But on their very next journey, the donkey deliberately fell into the stream again, dissolving another load of salt. This time, Matthias watched carefully and realized these were no accidents. For the third journey, Matthias loaded the pack with dried sponges instead of salt. The donkey, not examining his load, assumed it was salt as usual. When they reached the stream, he went through his usual performance, deliberately stumbling into the water.
Oh no! I've fallen again, master, he cried.
But instead of becoming lighter, his load became dramatically heavier as the sponges absorbed water. The donkey struggled to stand under the unexpected weight.
What's happening? He gasped. Why is my load so heavy?
Matthias looked at his donkey with a knowing smile. Your clumsiness has caught up with you. Today you're carrying sponges instead of salt. They've absorbed the water and become much heavier.
The donkey realized his master had set a trap for him.
Master, he pleaded, perhaps we could lighten the load?
No, Matthias replied firmly. You've been eager to take these tumbles into the stream. Now you'll carry the results all the way to the market.
The journey was difficult and exhausting. The water-soaked sponges were incredibly heavy, and every step was a struggle.
Cleverness used to avoid honest work, Matthias said, usually ends up making things harder, not easier.
From that day forward, the donkey carried his loads carefully, having learned that tricks to avoid work often backfire. The donkey had sought an easy path, but his schemes only brought him greater burden. What seemed like cunning was merely foolishness in disguise, and the consequences of his deception far outweighed the temporary relief he had gained. Moral: trying to avoid honest work through deception usually creates even greater difficulties. Those who seek shortcuts through dishonesty often find themselves carrying heavier burdens than if they had simply done the work faithfully from the start.